Okay, we are live. We're going to wait for Facebook to catch up. And in the meantime, come on, Facebook. There we go. We are live. Okay, Flip Trader. It's Wednesday morning. I would say, as you know now, however, it's only been one time. Today's the second time. Every Wednesday morning, this incredible human being is going to be joining us and walking you through the mindset piece, the personal growth piece, because like I said last week, your business grows to the extent that you do. Your life, your marriage, your money, your body, everything grows to the extent that you do. So if you have traumas and conditioning and programming that's hindering you, it will hinder all of the external things. So today we're going to be talking about the power of choice and the results that come from those choices or those decisions that we make. And it's a very easy topic to put in a sentence, and it's very deep. So Jan, you're gonna dive us deep for like 15-20 minutes, and yeah, we're gonna rock and roll here. So take it.
It's so important. Thank you again for having me on this platform, if you will, to be able to have a conversation with everybody. It's so true what you mentioned, Ian. You know, we grow to the extent that we do, and personal growth is a choice. Just like obviously we're talking about today, decisions. There's changes inevitable. We're always going to go through changes, yet personal development and personal growth is a decision and a choice. And what I tell people is once you embark on this journey, it's not a temporary journey. It's a forever journey. And the biggest reason why is that you're an infinite being. You're an infinite being with so much potential and so much growth opportunities that my suggestion to myself, to everyone that's listening, is just make the decision that you do want to develop and you want to go into personal development, because personal development will help you with every aspect of your life, your business, your relationships, your marriage. And one of my mentors wrote an article about decision making that I want to share with you guys. And I just want to read a couple paragraphs that I believe is going to be so profound. There is a single mental move you can make with which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter. And it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this magic mental activity, and it is actually called decision. Decisions, or the lack of them, are responsible for the breaking or making of many a career. Individuals who have become very proficient at making decisions without being influenced by the opinions of others are the same people whose annual incomes fall into the 6-7-figure category and more. However, it's not just your income that is affected by decisions. Your whole life is dominated by this power. The health of your mind and body and well-being of your family, your social life, the type of relationships you develop are all dependent upon your ability to make sound decisions. So I just wanted to start off reading that article because it blows my mind. I don't know if you're aware, but we make about 35,000 decisions in a single day. And yet we have never been taught in school to make decisions or how to make decisions. And what I realized coaching and working with so many people is most people don't know how to make a decision. They're really walking around asking people, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? And actually the inability to make a decision is making a decision. So I wanted to kind of park on that and just kind of explain, when we give ourselves the power to make a decision and understand that you can never get it wrong, you can never get it wrong because you can never get it done. When you can view life as a journey, a learning experience to learn more about who you are and what you are, all a decision is going to be able to do, especially as you get really good at it, it's going to help you receive feedback. Feedback, understanding the way that you operate, the way you think, the way you feel, why you take actions in certain directions, as well as the ability to just make pivots, right? Make pivots. And that's why we'll go on to this on another segment. That's why I hugely believe one of the biggest things to be able to do is learn to make a goal, setting a goal, a destination of where you want to go. Because when you can set that destination and really get emotionally tied with it, then decision-making becomes easier and easier and easier. And I also wanted to read a quote too, right? First and foremost, we either create or disintegrate. And the inability to make a decision, our indecision-making ability, makes us disintegrate. And I want us to think about that. Because on this planet, everything lives by the laws of the universe, and a huge law being the law of vibration. We're constantly moving. There is no such thing as being stagnant. There's no such thing as just being still. So you're either growing or you're dying. So why not make the decision every single day that you're going to make decisions that's going to empower you? And understanding that if you make a decision that maybe you don't like the results of whatever that is, you have the power to make another decision again, to just pivot and make adjustments. I believe that so many people have a hard time making decisions because they're sitting in fear, which also stems from a lack of self-esteem or confidence, right? Low self-esteem or confidence. And the reason behind that is because we're so afraid that we're going to fail. We're going to fail. But what if you knew that there's no way you can actually fail? You can't. The only time you can really truly fail is if you actually give up on yourself. On yourself. See, we have so many gifts inside of us that even if we took our entire lifetime to study all the gifts that lies inside of us, we would only be tapping into a small surface of it, because we truly are infinite beings on this planet that are here to create and co-create. Right? And I love real estate. I love real estate because everybody gets into real estate because they want it as a vehicle to fund their life. They want it as a vehicle so they could create a better future for themselves. And with that said, you made the decision to get into real estate. Now get good at making decisions so you can actually grow and grow and grow into the direction that you want to go to. And I'm sure everybody knows this. And if not, study the people that are doing the things that you want to get into. Success loves speed. Success loves speed. And speed will follow when you get really good at making decisions, and decisions that align with you, especially to where you are going. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was your results are determined by the decisions you make. See, we don't really create our future. It's through our decisions and our habits. It's through our decisions and our habits. And when we're not making decisions, we're literally spinning around in circles, allowing outside forces to really dictate what our future looks like. And I love what Napoleon Hill states. He states, circumstances, I make them. And the reason why I love that quote, I believe that so many people do not make decisions because we blame the outer circumstances and we think too much about what we have. Yet, if we really think about this for a second, all the amazing things that exist in this world came from imagination. It came from something that someone saw in their mind and they made decisions to go after, right? They made decisions to go after those things, whether it's Disney, whether it's Rockefeller, whether it's, Charles Schwab, any of these people, like so many people, Elon Musk, Grant Cardone, they made decisions to go create the life that they wanted to have. They didn't know all the things. They didn't know how they were going to get there. They created the how. They created the situations and the circumstances to get what it is that they want. Because if we allow our current circumstances to dictate the decision-making power, we'll stay cycling in a hamster wheel that keeps us getting the same results. So we might change the location, we might change a kind of a focus, but we'll find ourselves going through the same emotions over and over and over again. What we teach is, how the 1%ers think and operate. And the 1%ers of the world do own 96% of the wealth. But it goes way, way beyond the money. They actually created the world that everybody lives in. And now we have access to all of this information. And one of the most common things that you'll see the 1%ers have, we have the ability to make quick decisions and stick with it. Quick decisions and stick with it. They don't allow their thoughts to talk them into fear or analyze too much where they're going to talk them out of something that they want to do. They get a thought in their mind and their body takes action right away to go into creation mode. And when they make a decision that they really want, they don't sway away from it. They don't allow challenges or obstacles or things to come in their way. They use that to propel them into making things better for them, understanding that challenges and obstacles are just there to expand you. It expands you and actually getting you to realize that there's maybe a better way to get it, and also prioritizing the things that need to happen. Now, the people that don't make quick decisions, the masses, I would say, the masses have a hard time making decisions. And when they make a decision, they're usually asking everybody else, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? What should I do? What should I do? And if you think about it, a lot of times those people that are asking other people what they want, what they should be doing, they already made a decision in their mind. They're really allowing that fear to control them, and they're just looking for somebody that's going to validate why they shouldn't do what they want to do, why they should stay in that exact position. So they'll continue asking all those questions until they get confirmation to keep them in that same place. And then if and when they do make a decision, they're quick to switch it. Well, maybe I made the wrong decision, right? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have thought about it this way. Maybe I chose the wrong career path. Maybe I should do this. So again, I believe that setting goals is so, so important because it gives you a destination on where you want to go. And, we have so many goals within a goal. And yet when we can really create a goal, a fantasy goal, something that we can get emotionally involved with, the way we want to live, how we want to experience life, and then really learn how to make decisions and understand that when we make a decision, when contrasts and challenges show up, it's only there to expand us, to give us more confirmation of what it is that we do desire and arranging the priorities along the way, what matters most to us. So when we get really good at making decisions, it becomes easier and easier to live the life that you have been desiring. And decision-making will absolutely increase your self-esteem and your confidence, right? Because the lack of making decisions does come from low self-esteem and having low confidence. And when you can train yourself to start making decisions, then all of a sudden you will actually increase in that vibration that's going to make you feel better because you're now taking control of your life in your hands versus getting dictated by the outside forces. It is my true desire for everyone to believe and understand how powerful humans are. We create everything in our reality, and it is through our perception, the way we choose to perceive things. And when we can understand that there is no good or bad until we decide to label it. So when a situation that comes our way that feels bad, we have the power. We have the power to choose and decide which part of that equation we want to look at. To sit on the fact that that challenge came in and it's going to cripple us, or to see that challenge and opportunity, a challenge and contrast come in, to see it as an opportunity for us to create solutions. Because it is our power and the ability to create solutions how we get to elevate us and everyone around us. So keep that in mind, folks. We make about 35,000 decisions a day. And they're usually like little milli decisions along the way. But also understand that when we're not making a confirmed decision, the indecision is also making a decision. And people may not know, or you may not speak out loud the decisions that you're making. But our environment, our current reality will absolutely show all the decisions you do make. Because our current reality exists because of all the previous decisions and all the habits that we created. I hope this helps you take the power back, give yourself permission to really, set a goal for yourself that you really love, something that's going to stretch you, something that excites you, and something that makes you afraid, so that you can absolutely stretch yourself and discover all the gifts that are inside of you. Don't allow anyone to tell you that you cannot do something that you really want. You cannot receive a thought or a desire that you're not capable of accomplishing. So believe in yourself, just know that you can do it, and start getting good at making decisions, and understand you can't make a wrong decision. You can never get it wrong because you can never get it done. You live in a world of transmutation of energy. So believe in you.
There's so many good things in there that you said. I got a couple questions from the audience too, and then I just want to expand on a few things. So let me just go with where is it? Matthew said, how important is our emotional state when making decisions?
Oh, I love that. It is everything. I love the statement. You cannot create a solution in the same vibration that the problem came in. So there is something called the power of pause. And I could go a whole day just talking about reacting and creating. They're actually the same letters flipped around. And yet we as humans have been programmed to react to our environment all the time, which keeps us in a hamster wheel. And yet when we can really discover that we are powerful creators, and we can pause and look at whatever problem that came in and say, Interesting. Do something that anchors you. Like for me, I go and meditate. I want to meditate to increase my vibration. Sometimes I play an amazing playlist of songs and I sing and dance just to not think about whatever that problem is, to get myself into a higher vibration, right? Whatever it is, pause when a problem comes in. Don't find yourself like looking for the solution right away, because you're only going to create the solution in that same vibration, which is going to create that hamster wheel, right? So when something comes in, pause. I love the statement, that's interesting. I'm like, that's interesting. I put myself into a higher vibration, increase my emotional state, then I will receive better ideas and more clarity into the direction that I'm going, so I can make better decisions. Great question.
Yeah, it is a really great question. You know, a lot of the things that I was thinking of as you were talking, and by the way, for everybody that's watching, just because Jan put that out there in like 10 minutes, like that you could expand on for 5 hours, you know, and in her job, my job, like on these Wednesday morning calls, is to just give you little blocks of information to fill in some of the gaps, to make sure that you can take something from these calls. Every single call that we have all week, the reason why we structure them the way we do is because we don't want to flood you with info. Like, think about when you go to a seminar, when you go to a big training, you're flooded with information. And the law of odds that says you're going to take action on one or two things from that is almost nothing. So on these calls, on our training calls on Thursday, even on our podcast stuff, or like Marketing Mondays with Marina, or Marketing Mondays with Marina, we're giving very small doses so that you can leave the call, take action, come back as the next evolution next week, take something small, take action, evolve. So over a 6, 8, 12-week period, you're much different. You are much different than you were when you started here. And then you can start to look at the results in your life, because a decision is you showed up on this call. A decision is you stuck with it. A decision is that you didn't go, Young's full of shit. I already know this. I read a book on this. This is ridiculous. I'm not doing this. Those are all decisions that will then have an after effect. Like you said, there's this formulaic equation that the decisions you make are literally linked to the results you have in your entire life, in every internal and external category.
100%.
And so I love thinking about things. I think we talked about this last time. I love thinking about things as a formula, because a formula doesn't have emotions. It's clear cut. 1 + 1 is 2. I don't feel like it's 3. I'm not depressed today, so I just don't feel like it's anything. It is 2, right? And it's the same thing for your life. If you look at the decisions that you make, they will add up to a result. That is the formula. If you want a different result, you make different decisions. It's that clear cut. Now, like Matthew asked, what about the state or the emotions that I'm feeling? Well, if you add the decision based on emotions in there, it still comes up with a result, and it's still a part of the formula. So now you know that the result you have you don't like, or you didn't want. Now you go back and go, cool, what are the components to the formula that added up to that result? Oh, I made a really, really non-serving decision when I was really mad or emotional. Cool. Well, next time I'm not going to do that. And then you test the theory. Would you agree with that?
100%. And you said something so important. Everything is a system and a formula.
Yeah.
And that's why even coming to this Wednesday, my desire for everybody is to just plant a seed or grow the seed that already exists. But it has to take consistency. Right. And that's why I believe that we as people, and I said that at the very beginning, is make a decision on personal development. And personal development is not an on and off switch. It's a commitment. It's a system for every single day. That's why people can go to conferences for 3 days or a week and get all juiced up. And they may take 1 or 2 days of taking action. Within the next 2 weeks, they're back to their old programming again. Right. Because it takes consistent effort. So you hit it right on the head. It's literally being able to observe yourself, understanding that it is through your decisions and your daily habits that create your future. Right. And the hardest thing that people don't, have a hard time doing is creating a habit that's going to serve them. But it has to, and I say this, if it doesn't show up in your schedule, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Right. And I remember like running around with my head cut off, working 60 to 80 hours, reacting to life, especially like I had my own business. I was fixing and flipping homes, growing a sales team, like so many things going on, right? I never had scheduling in my time blocks to think about what I wanted to do the next week, to plan, or even time for myself to study. None of that existed.
Yeah.
Right? Because my brain was conditioned, like I have to put like the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to do this so I can see this result. I'm going to do this to get this result, right?
Right.
When you really, really understand and really create a system that's going to develop you,
it's huge.
You won't have to chase it. You can make sound decisions to attract the things that you have to take action. So make decisions that's going to cause your body to take action in all the right things so that you can grow and really live the life that you want to live.
Yeah, yesterday we talked to Aaron Amuchastegui, who's a foreclosure and flipping expert. 1,000+ deals. 1,000+ deals. And that's only in like the last 10 years, by the way. It's not even 10 years. It's like 2015. And what he was talking about is when you go to the courthouse steps to buy a property, you got to make a decision, and you're going to be riddled with fear, and you're going to have some anxiety. And there's also pressure because other deals, you don't have people standing around you watching. You're not watching their bidding.
Yeah.
You're just submitting an offer and it gets submitted. And so the power of this and being able to make choices to focus on you will help you build the better habits to make decisions in your real estate investment business, period. Direct linked, no arguing about it. It's very clear. And now, like what we're working on, and next week we'll dive into another small topic that'll have a massive result or massive like ripple effect in your life. And I think about, I'm not sure if we talked about this last week. I made the decision, which by the way, the root word is decide. The root word comes from like to cut off, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's, all the IDE
else.
words, they're all kind of negative. Genocide, suicide, homicide, like they're all these IDEs that are popular in our culture, but decide is to cut off the other choices, which means it's only one. And that has to come from an inner confidence, which again, we're working on. But like I decided to cut out the words right and wrong from my life. And it's the same way I train my kids and teach them. Take out right and wrong. And like you said, if you have a very clear goal that you're going for, regardless of what it is, doesn't have to be money related. It just has to be something that you can quantify in some capacity, put some metric to it. When you set the goal, instead of it like, oh, I made a wrong choice or I made a wrong turn, you either are making a serving decision that leads toward the goal or a non-serving decision that doesn't lead toward the goal. And it's not more complicated than that. It really isn't. Like, does this choice serve the goal I have for my business? Does this choice serve the goal I have for my body, my marriage, my fatherhood, motherhood, whatever it might be? And so I found that to be massive. And my daughter and you and I were talking about this privately with that note she wrote me in class, and she's 7 years old. And I said to her in the car, your choices affected you today. They didn't affect me. And so don't blame me for the fact that you didn't eat breakfast today. It was a series of choices that you made when you woke up that led to the fact that you didn't eat breakfast, and now you're pissed off. And now you're going to school hungry. And I love you and I care about you. And instead of me forcing food down your throat, I want to focus on teaching you how to make serving decisions. And she learned from that. And she wrote me a apology note that said, Dad, I realized my choices this morning weren't serving. I learned from my mistake, and I'll make different serving choices in the future. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. This little girl is not blaming others. She's not blaming her dad. She's not blaming her alarm clock. She's not blaming her mom. She's just taking ownership and accountability. And that was so cool to watch. I teared up. And that's what we're pushing to everybody or impressing on them is empower yourself to make a decision and get clarity on whether that decision is serving of the goal or non-serving of the goal, and then be okay with it.
Right. So you said to hit upon so many beautiful things. By the way, kudos on your 7-year-old daughter. Like, think about that, the
So
power
amazing.
to understand making a decision and then taking responsibility for it. But there's certain things like there's no gain without pain, right? No pain, no gain.
Yeah.
When we make a decision, I think a lot of times people are afraid because they're afraid of the pain that it may cause if they make the wrong decision.
Sure.
But think about it. Everything in life that we grow into, everything that we desire comes from because we experience something that we don't like. It comes from because of the pain that we felt, right? Whatever that form is. So I think it really boils down to judgment. A lot of times we judge ourselves and we judge others like, oh, well, if they didn't do it this way, they like, screw all the judgment, folks, right? Like it doesn't even matter. And again, I love this. Damon and I talk about this all the time, who is, flip trader guy. We met through fortune builders.
Right.
His first deal that he did, and I'm sure for those of that haven't listened to it, go listen to it. I forget what it was, but he lost a couple $100,000, if not definitely more than $100,000, right, on his first deal. First deal. Most people, they're done. They're like, oh, screw that. I made the wrong decision. Like everybody told me I couldn't make, money in flipping homes and blah, 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 blah. The first thought he had after that, he was like, holy shit. Okay. My next deal, I got to make a lot of money to recoup that back.
Right.
On my next deal.
Yeah.
And it goes back to when you start believing in yourself, understanding, because he made the decision to get into fortune builders, to get into real estate, investing so that he can create the life that he lives. Right now, him and his wife, like you were there, like they live doing whatever they want, whenever they want, while they're managing business. Right. And we talk about this, like Larissa and I are very close as well. And we're close with our family. I'm like, we're creating a backpack family business because our kids get along too, because we want to travel the world. We want our kids to experience the world and really break that generational paradigm that it has to look a certain way. But that also comes from the power of making decisions. Right? Yeah. Like I made a decision to get out of my small business because it no longer served me. I made a decision to get out of the day-to-day real estate and get into what I'm doing now, coaching and doing what I'm doing. Damon made the decision to do what he's doing. Larissa made the decision to get out of nursing to do what she's doing, now become a healer. Like it is through the power of decision making. And when we go through challenges, understand that challenge came in for you. It didn't happen to you. It happened for you, so that you can learn more about what it is that you want, gain the skill sets that are necessary for you to take your game to the next level, and then continue making more decisions that's going to get you to the lifestyle that you want to live.
Yeah. You and I have a very similar story. I got out of real estate sales because I felt it in my body. It just wasn't aligned. Like we were making a lot of money. We were having some fun. I loved all my clients, most of them at least. And I didn't align with it. It was something just not there for me. Got into coaching. Absolutely love that. I was in coaching while I was in real estate sales. Got into investing. And I just love building businesses. And I love coaching. And I love hosting podcasts and talking to interesting people. And I can tell you right now, and I want to hear your take on this. It was one of the hardest things I ever had to do was make the decision to let go of my business and move to the next thing that I knew was going to serve me. And then even this summer, when I said, okay, I was running this big podcast, big coaching business called Irreplaceable Man, men's coaching, loving life, loving it. And it was very challenging to run and build that business. It was very challenging. Couldn't find the right people, just, like staff wise. And it was really affecting me. And then in June, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to take my hands off the wheel. I have to do this because something's not aligning here. Something's not serving me here. And I got to find out what it is. And it was scary. And within that week, Flip Traders showed up. Within that week, I was on a call with Damon and Ben, literally within that week. And then Damon and I were talking about that. And I was telling him and Ben, we were at lunch on Saturday up in Boston. And I said, the other day I looked at the notes from our first meeting. And I really want you to know that I keep looking at those to make sure that I'm serving you guys best. Even though I'm a partner and an owner here, like I still want to make sure that you're being served and I'm doing what you asked me to do. And obviously you giving me like the whole reins to evolve and to like implement and to be innovative with this business. However, I still look at that to make sure that I'm serving what you need from me or what you asked me about. And there's parts of it that still are in play, and there's parts of it that just aren't applicable at this point. But if I hadn't have made that decision and cut that business off in my time that I was spending, which was like 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, like I wouldn't be here. And I feel the most aligned that I've ever been, the happiest I've ever been. Like it is hands down the absolute most aligned business I've ever been in. And I've built a lot of businesses as a fractional CEO and coach and consultant. And that was all from the power of one decision and the confidence and courage to keep my hands off the wheel, to stay back when the car was swerving. And I'm like, no, I got to trust this decision. I got to trust this. Even if this thing blows up, I'm still going to be smarter, and I'm okay with that. I'll be farther along. I'll know more than I did know before I did this or before I made this decision. And I'm at peace with that. And there's Damon and Ben on a phone call with me. And it's like, oh, this is cool. And Damon and I were talking about it. He's like, dude, look what we've done in the last couple months. And it said, dude, you got to think, this isn't since June. This is since the middle of August. So you got 2 months, 8 weeks. And now here we are at our launch party. We've got 20 people like you, Yun, that are masters of their game, that have all said yes to coming into Flip Trader and giving their value and their expertise to our audience. It is so cool how all this is manifested. And it came from one decision.
It's so powerful. The power of making decisions. Right. Yeah. And I want to add to that. It also came because of all the previous decisions that you made to put yourself first.
Yes.
Right? To build upon that. To build upon that. And you became really good at decision making, and all the challenges that came your way, you started to build more and more trust within yourself.
Yeah.
You started to trust yourself more than trusting the outer world and trusting all the circumstances. Right. And that's exactly where personal development is so key. And that commitment is so key, because as you commit, you start discovering all of those gifts. And because you made that one decision, like, think about, this is what so I'm sitting here at Reddington Beach at St. Pete. I made a quick last minute decision to come down here because someone said, hey, I'm coming from Hungary and I have an amazing spiritual gifted person that I believe that you need to meet. Okay, she just came from her intuition, made a quick call. Yeah. I said yes. I came down here. I met this amazing, brilliant woman, right, that I connect with. And then from there, I meet 5 other people, one that's going to be joining our world in like about a month. Like, you can't make this shit up because of one decision, right? Right. And anybody that knows me knows that I love to say, you can't make this shit up. When you start leaning towards life in faith, trusting yourself, boy, oh boy, you start attracting other people that know, like, and trust you instantaneously. Like, think about the trust, right? That Damon and Ben had in you, because you started to trust in yourself. So you attracted those people, right? And they trust themselves and where their journey is, right? And we only do that through learning how to make decisions and overcoming challenges and obstacles and giving more permission on what it is that we want. Yeah. Right? And it's so wild. Because when you can say, and I had this conversation with you too, because I asked Ian what his ultimate vision, or what, as far as he can imagine now, because I know it's going to grow. And he casted his vision. And I said, Flip Trader is just a portion of it. It's a portion of the vehicle that's coming so aligned, that's going to co-create and help so many different people, that's going to serve in so many different ways. And yet it's going to lead to another thing and another thing and another thing, because Ian, just like everybody that's listening here, is an infinite being put on this planet to create. And the only way you can create is by learning how to make decisions. Because otherwise, you're not creating. You're literally being in other people's movies and other people's casts. You're being part of everything else. Now, I believe we're all put here to create, which ultimately helps us co-create. So when you expand that dream and that vision, then you also attract other people that are going to align with that dream and vision. Just like Ian is aligning with Damon, just like I'm aligning with Damon and Ian, just like all these people, Marina, right? Like, we all align and we get to co-create together.
Right. And there's a difference between active and passive decisions, because your active decision is you actually making a conscious decision. Your passive decision is you not making a choice or decision, and that's a decision. So what you're talking about is is the active decision making, not the act of, active decision making.
Active.
And when
I
you talk
love
about
that.
faith, I just want to get really just clear on that. That's not a faith in a higher power. That's a faith in yourself, and that the faith that something's possible. It also has to do with faith that that of a higher power and that kind of thing. Really, we're talking about faith is the belief that something's possible and that you can create it or co-create it. I can tell you right now, this is like a power versus force conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas if I would have, because I've been in sales for a long time, I can pitch real hard, but there's a difference between a forceful pitch and a powerful pitch. You know what I mean? Or an enrollment conversation, to helping someone believe that something's possible, that you can create it, and now they believe in you. And I think in the past, I would have had forceful conversations with people, kind of masked in what they needed, really more about my agenda. Whereas this one, and like I said, I keep going back to that note that I have. Like, I took 2 pages of notes on that first call because I want to make sure that I'm in a powerful place, not a forceful place. And that even though I get to make all the decisions for this business and all these partners that we have, like they're just trusting me, I want to make sure that they feel empowered too, to speak up or to say, hey, Ian, we trust you, but can you try this way or maybe try this? And I think from the outside, even if the inside was like forced into a decision by like a, very suave or like, I'm just blanking on the word, but like they've been coerced into a decision, then the outside people like Larissa or you would see the difference, because I'm not pitching everybody that same thing. And as far as evolution goes, those choices, like you said, allows for co-creation. And so if I hadn't made those choices, the linear, like the line of choices that I made, the me from last year, right? The choice to work on myself, the choice to commit to me, the choice to trust myself and move the bottlenecks out of the way. There's no way that you manifest in my life. There's no way that we have we were on the phone for 5 minutes and we were deep level connection, deep. And there's no way that happens without those choices for the self. And I think some people would say, oh, that's kind of selfish or whatever. But the reason why you and I are on this call, the reason why I run Flip Trader and I'm a partner here, is because of the choice to work on me, to trust myself, to put me first, to make me a priority, to care for myself. The only way that we have the deep level connection is because of those choices.
Gazillion percent. And when you start making those choices for yourself, you stop wearing masks. You hit upon that very slightly, right? You stop wearing masks, because what people don't realize, whether you realize this or not, most people are programmed to put on a mask for every different situation. So you show up in a certain way to your family, you show up in a certain way for business, you show up in a certain way for the audience. But when you stop worrying about anything else and you start realizing that you are fully complete and all you have to do is show up as yourself, that is ultimate freedom. Right? Like it is like you have the power to be and do and have anything in this world as you are. And all you need to know is that you have infinite potential to grow into whatever being that you want to. And I got to tell you, that's the whole thing, is that I'm going to go there. So as far as technology is advancing, it's advancing super fast, right?
Yeah.
AI is here and it's really revolutionizing every single industry that we can possibly think of. And I truly believe this at my core. The thing that's going to matter the most is people's character, who they are, how they operate, what are their values, what are their core values, how do they think, right? There's no right or wrong, by the way, just like you talked about. There's no right or wrong way that you are. But the more that you get to understand how you are and who you are, then you're coming more into alignment. Then your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are more in alignment so that you get to discover more of your truth. More of your truth.
Exactly.
And as you get more into alignment, man, people, places, things, and circumstances will show up and offer you so many gifts that is going to blow your imagination away. Because our brains are very limiting. Our spirit is fully complete and never wrong. Never wrong.
Yeah.
So as you embark on the journey to discover you and you start having faith, exactly that. You can connect with people right away and you feel like you've known them forever. But if you come across someone, Ian, you know this, you come across someone that doesn't know who they are and they can't make a decision, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
You can't connect even if you wanted to. It's like this, like, you know, polarity of a magnetism that's happening, and you don't even know what's going on. You don't even know what's going on. And that's the thing. Most people, you're either attracted to something or you're repelling from something. And you may not even be consciously aware of it. And your brain can create as many stories as it wants to because of these programs and paradigms that we have. But the truth of the matter is, you are going to attract what you are. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So when you can become what you want, you will have everything you want and more.
Yeah. Somebody asked me, I have some younger guys that work on our real estate team in Austin. And they were asking me, what's, you know, at 40 years old, what's the most powerful piece of advice? And I'm like, dude, there's a lot. You know, I've been a coach for 10 years too. Like, there's a lot. Yeah. And I said, I think the number one thing is I just made a decision to stop giving a shit about what people thought about me, you know, and that freed up so much. And the other one is find the true you, right? Get rid of all the armor, get rid of all the stuff that you've put on and been programmed with, because the real you's in there. Like you said, your spirit's in there. The real you's there. You just have a lot of other stuff on you, and your job is to get rid of it. So this 100%. Has been you and I could talk for hours. This is awesome. And I'll be up in 2 weeks and I'm going to see you.
Yes. Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And this has been another fantastic call. We've had a lot of people watching. Make sure you jump in to answer any questions that are here that didn't get answered. This is awesome. I love doing this. We're getting more and more views every week. This is so aligned to serve our community. And now we have a women's group coming up. Later on this afternoon, we've got our real estate agent and agent investor training. Tomorrow, we've got our live training with Aaron Amuchastegui doing foreclosure stuff. And he is an absolute top of the game expert. We've got you, we've got this power packed training all week long, 6 hours long form training. It's freaking awesome.
It's amazing because you made a decision. And by the way, thank you so much, Ian, for allowing your imagination to continuously expand and making decisions. And, you know, I went over this in the very brief moment that I was teaching that decision making, but that's exactly what I was talking about, right? The 1%ers, the way they think and operate. They get a thought in their mind, and guess what? They take immediate action. Like, you take such quick action on things that you don't have time to talk you out of things, which is exactly why as you keep going, you attract these people, places, and opportunities. And I'm telling you, like, the people that you're attracting to deliver more and more education and information, everybody that's part of this platform and anyone that's listening, you have the opportunity to develop any mindset, skill set, everything necessary for you to go create the life that you know that you want. And I'm going to add, that you deserve. So just make the decision that you deserve it and just stick with it and show up and take action.
Yes. All right, Flip Trader group, people, members,
family.
That's it for this. What do we got to come up with a unique name for this? I just was like,
let's ask the audience. Yeah. If you have any cool names,
if you if any of you have a cool name for Yun's training on Wednesdays around mindset or personal growth, drop it in the comments. Also, anything that you thought of as we were going through this, watching it after the fact, I would encourage you to go watch this again, because although Yun and I only talked for about 45 minutes, there is so much to deep dive into in what we said, and there's so many pieces of action and like detail that we could go into. We could have like 5 more sessions just on this. So make sure that you are taking action on that. And then from there, you know, drop your questions in, join us every single day, every single Wednesday at 11 a.m. or 11 a.m. You're back, and I'm so grateful.
Same here. So much in gratitude. And there's a saying that I love that I want to share with everybody. We are magical beings on a magical planet where thoughts become things. So go make it happen.
Thank you so much. All right, Flip Trader Group. We'll see you later this afternoon with Brandon. Take care. Catch you on the next one.
Bye-bye.